Hello, my name is Teresa Richardson, and I'm a transfer admissions counselor here at the University of Oklahoma. This is going to be a short video to walk you through how to use our transfer equivalency database. So to start with, you'll want to start on our transfer website. You just go to ou.edu/transfer. It will bring you here. And then scroll down on the right-hand side, our helpful links are listed out. The transfer equivalency database is the third one down, but to start with, we're going to look at Explore Majors to pick a check sheet. So I'm going to pick Management. You can find check sheets for all of our 170 majors there. Click on Check Sheet and then click on Check Sheet again, and you'll get a PDF of your check sheet. Some of your majors will list it out like this, where you have general education classes on the left and then your major requirements on the right. Some of them will do it this way, where they list out a suggested schedule for each year of college. That can be less helpful for transfer students. So I actually really appreciate that business does both. So what we're going to look at, in most cases, if you are a prospective transfer student that's going to be transferring in the future, you're going to be really focusing on these classes on the left-hand side, your general education requirements. So let's go back to the transfer web page and click on the transfer equivalency database. And this has some helpful information here about how to convert classes and some trickier situations, which I'll help explain as well. So just click on Search the Transfer Equivalency Database. And there are 3 different ways you can use the database. The first one is to search by OU course. So let's start with that. So if you are looking to take a specific class to transfer to OU, maybe you're already a current student and need to take a class to transfer in, you can search by that class to start with. So let's go over to the database, or I'm sorry, let's go to your check sheet and find a class. So say you're going to be a business major and you need to take this introductory accounting class, Accounting 2113. So what you would do is, let me close some of these tabs so I don't keep clicking on them. So what you would do is search by that course. So accounting, and then Accounting 2113. And then you want to search for the school that you're going to take it at. Now, you can search for your specific school here, so I definitely want to go to, say, ou.edu, and then you can look at the database that way, for instance. And then if we go here, we see that Accounting 2113 at OU is the same as Accounting 2113 at ou.cc. This A and B can be a little bit confusing. You won't see that on your ou.cc courses. All that means is that we have taken 2 different forms of this class from ou.cc in the past. Probably in the past it was called Accounting 1/Financial Accounting, and now it's just called Financial Accounting. So you can just ignore that. If the course numbers match up, then you are taking the right course. So you know that you can go to ou.cc and take Accounting 2113, and it will count exactly as Accounting 2113 at OU. 3 credit hours. What is also really cool, though, if you don't really care where you're taking your class, you can just put in the state. So you can put in Oklahoma, you could put in Texas, and then hit View Results. And it shows where you can take that accounting class at every college in Oklahoma. So that can be really helpful if you just really need to take a specific class over the summer or something like that. Okay, so, but more likely if you are transferring in from another college, it'll be more helpful to start with this middle part, which is Search by Other Institution course. So you start out by putting in your transfer institution. I'm going to pull up ou.cc again. And again, you can just hit View Results at this point and look at every single course we've ever transferred from ou.cc. I've scrolled several times and I'm still in the A's. There are a lot. That can be helpful, though, if you're looking at your entire transcript and just wanting to see how every class you've ever taken will transfer. But if you're looking for classes to enroll in for next semester that will transfer to OU, it's more helpful maybe to look at one class at a time. So let's switch to a different class. You want to make sure and get your calculus taken care of. So this check sheet says that you need Math 1743. And you want to find out what at OCCC will count for that. You probably have a list of your math classes available at OCCC, and you can put in those specific classes, and there's quite a few listed here. You can also just put in math and hit results, view results, and it's going to show all the math classes that will transfer. And so the class we were looking for was Math 1743. And so Math 1743 at OCCC counts as Math 1743 at OU. So it's reversed the order when you're looking at it this way. That is the OCCC course listed first and then the OU course. Okay, so we're going to go back down there. In the note also, it says on the side here that this is a Gen Ed class, Gen Ed Mathematics. And what that means is that if you were to switch to a different major, say psychology or something like that, and all they required was any Gen Ed math class, then you know that this class would count as that Gen Ed class. Okay, it can get a little more complicated when you see these ors and ands, and so I wanted to bring that up as well. So say that you wanted to take, or that you've already taken Math 2104 at OCCC, that gets a little bit confusing over here. So it can count as Math 1914 at OU. It can also count, or it can count as Math 1823, which is a 3 credit hour class, and Math 2423, which is also a 3 credit hour class. So you took a 4 credit hour class at OCCC, and you would get 3 hours of credit for this Calc 1 plus 1 hour of credit for this Calc 2. Basically, it's allowing you to get your 4 hours of credit just dispersed a little bit differently. So different majors will list different calculus requirements, but if you will look, let's zoom this in just a little bit more. If you'll look on the math requirement here, there's a little footnote. If you go down to footnote number 3, it says that you can substitute Math 1823, and you can also substitute Math 1914 for Math 1743. So basically, if you took any of those 3 classes, you would be able to have credit for Calculus 1. Basically, if you take any of the Calculus 1 classes, you will get credit on your check sheet for having Calculus 1. But you can use the database just to make sure. Okay, and that can get a little confusing. If you get confused, feel free to reach out to us and we will help you walk through that. Okay, so the last thing you can search is Gen Ed requirements. So some of these won't list specific classes. So for instance, for this business major, you need to take artistic forms, but it doesn't say any specific class. And if we go down to the footnotes, it says you must choose any class from the university-wide general education approved list. There is a list in a PDF that you can find on our website, but you don't really need to look up the list. You can just use the transfer equivalency database. So let's pick a different college this time. Let's do Rose State College. So you put in the state again, put in the college, and now I know I just need anything from artistic forms. And then hit view results. And so this lists every course that is offered or has been offered at Rose State College that will count as the Gen Ed of artistic forms at OU. And again, you see some kind of little confusing stuff like Art 1102, 1103B, 1103A. Those are probably just different forms of this class that were offered in the past. It's probably the last one on here, Art Appreciation, but you can check your Rose State catalog if that's where you're at to make sure. But basically, Rose states Art 1103 will count as Art History 1113, and it counts as the Gen Ed artistic forms. Probably not every single one of these classes will be listed at your college every semester, but if you can find any of these offered, then you know for sure that it will transfer exactly to an equivalent OU class and you'll get the credit for it. So really helpful for that. All right, and that is pretty much it. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at transfer@ou.edu anytime, and we'll be happy to help walk you through the database. But it's a really good tool for you to use to find classes on your own and figure out where you're at.